This is part 2 of the module 3 in Word, the textbook project. We're going to be starting on Word 3-3, creating a business letter. Table of contents, we've already covered the creating a letterhead. And so we're on 3-3, creating a business letter. So with our letterhead already opened from the previous activity, we're going to start working on this, all right? Now, I highly recommend, again, to read the book. So what should you consider when writing a business letter? Please make sure you read this. It's very important that you follow along with stuff, but to save us time on the video, I'm not going to do that. Okay, now save a document with a new file name. So the current file has a name, Sunset State Letterhead Document, which is the name of a letterhead that we were using. Now we're going to save the letterhead to Thomas Welcome Letter, because we don't want to change this one. We want to create a Thomas Welcome Letter, so we can go back and use this over again if we want to. So keep your letterhead clean without anything on it, and let's just save it as, and then we can type on that new one, and we don't mess up the old one. So Sunset Letterhead, I'm going to get rid of that, and Thomas Welcome Letter. Save. Moving on to the next page. Okay, to apply a style. All right, now recall that normal style in Word places 8 points of blank space after each paragraph and inserts a vertical space equal to 1.08 lines between each line of text. You'll need to modify the spacing used for the paragraphs in the business letter. Okay, because it's different. You can read the reason why here, okay? So with the insertion point position in the paragraph to be formatted, this one here, we're going to click on Styles, and we're going to click on the No Spacing style. And that's going to change all of our styles to what it just says, no spacing. What elements should be the business letter contain? Again, these are information that you should be reading through and finding out what it tells you. And then what are common styles of business letters? Now, this is the most common, is a block style, and a modified block is probably the second most common. But every business has a different style, one of these 3 different styles of choice. So make sure that you know which one is the most acceptable in your business. If they don't say anything, then you can kind of choose which one. Okay, using tab stops to align a text. Now this is a little complicated to create tab stops, so don't overwhelm yourself with it. Sometimes you get messed up on it. They're real easy to take off, and I'll show you how to do that if you put the wrong tab stop in. Okay, and tab stops are exactly what it sounds like. When you hit the tab button, that's where the actual insertion point is going to stop. So here are the tab stop markers. You have a left tab that looks like a little L, a center tab that looks like a upside down T, a right tab, which is a backwards L, so it looks like it's on the right side of the paper, a decimal tab where the period is to the right of the center. So as you do that, it'll align the decimals up. And then you have a bar tab, and it aligns text at a bar character at the location of the tab stop. Okay. And here are examples: left align, center, right align. How it's lined up perfectly with the decimal tab, and then a bar. Okay. So let's look at how to put those on there. So we've got a display or ruler. If your ruler is not displayed, you're going to click on View, and then you're going to go to Show, and then here's Ruler. And mine's already showing, so I don't have to click it. It's already checked. Okay. Now we have default tab stops at every ½ inch. So this is a ½ inch, this is another ½ inch, this is another ½ inch, this is another ½ inch. So we already have defaulted tab stops. So watch. We'll hit the tab button. It's going to go ½ inch, then another ½ inch, then another ½ inch, then another ½ inch. Each of these arrows indicates that I've hit tab 1 time. So I've hit it 1, 2, 3, 4 times. And we'll hit backspace. Just wanted to show you how they're already preset. Now we're going to set a custom tab stop so that we can do what we're going to do with our indentations. Okay. So it says the first required element of a business letter is a date line, which in this letter is positioned 2 lines below the letterhead. The date line contains the month, day, and year, and begins at 3.5 inches from the left margin. Okay, 3.5 inches from the left margin. So with the insertion point on the paragraph mark below the border shown, press enter so a blank line appears. So we're going to have an extra blank line. And if necessary, click the tab selector at the left edge of the horizontal ruler until it says left tab. So here's our tab selector. If I click on it, it changes it. So it cycles through all of those different tab stops. And it also has the hanging indents and everything. So we're on our left tab stop already. So we're on there now. So now it says position the pointer at the 3.5 inch mark on the ruler. So our pointer at 3.5 inch, and then we're going to get it to there, and we're just going to click. And when we click, it puts a little L there for a left tab. Now, what happens most of the time is you accidentally click it here too. It's like, oh man, I didn't want it there. Well, if you don't want one, you just click on it and then drag it off of the ruler, and it pulls it off, and it deletes it. Okay? All right, moving on. So now we have it. And then here's what if I click on the long location of the ruler if you're using a touchscreen. Those are some helps there. Okay, insert a current date in the document. So instead of typing in the date, we're going to actually use a pre-formatted date. So press tab in the position. So we already are here. So we're going to press tab. It takes us exactly to the 3.5 inches. See, I only press tab once. And then we're going to insert tab. So we'll click on the insert tab. And then we're going to go to the text group here. And we're going to go to the date and time right here. We're going to click on it. That's going to give us a whole bunch of different dates and a whole bunch of different times to choose. So what we're going to look for is the month, day, and year that's in this format. So April 19th, 2021, I'm doing this on September 22nd, so my dates are going to say September 22nd. So we're going to look for the one that looks like the one we're looking for, the whole word spelled out, the date, and then the 4-digit year, and then click on it. Okay. That automatically puts in a date for us. Okay, and it'll automatically update. So if we save this and come back into it tomorrow or the next day, then you can automatically save it and change the date. But it tells us to not check it. So I didn't do that. I skipped this step. If update automatically is selected, check it. So I'm going to undo, and we're going to insert it again. So insert text, date and time, click this one. Okay, mine is not set to update automatically, so it won't update automatically if I close it and open it again later. Okay? I jumped ahead, I started explaining and didn't finish reading the directions. Apologize. Okay, so we're finished with this page. No, we're not. Click OK to insert. We did that, and now we're finished. Enter the inside address and salutation. Okay, with the insertion point at the end of the date, press enter 3 times. 1, whoops, screen. There we go. 1, 3. And then we're going to type in Mr. Caleb Thomas, Bartlett Street, Live Oak, California, entering at the end of each of those lines. And we're going to enter twice, and we'll type in Dear Caleb. So let's do that. Right. It says enter twice after Dear Caleb. This is the first paragraph of the body copy. And then we'll press enter twice, and then we're going to put this. sitting here talking, so I paused the video with some editing magic there. Okay, and then press enter twice on step 7. Step 8, we'd like to inform you of important upcoming dates. Colon and press enter twice. Remember, you only hit enter at the end of each of the paragraphs, so don't worry about the word wrap in here. It should look similar to this. Same way with this. Only hit enter when it tells you to at the end of a paragraph. So it should look very similar to what's here. And then save the letter again, because remember we called it Thomas letter. So we're going to click on save. And we'll get going. Saving often is important, especially if you're a place where electricity is tend to go out. But it's just a good common practice and good habit to do that. Okay, tables. The next step in composing a business letter is to place a table listing the important upcoming dates. So we're going to put in a table. A table is a grid of rows and columns, and each intersection of a row and column is considered a cell. So from the first step to creating one is to inserting an empty table, and then we can go ahead and format it to the way we want to. Okay, so the way they're doing it is it's a grid. That's going to be a 3x1 grid table. So it's going to be 3 columns, column being the first number, and the rows being the second number. So 3x1. So now it says to insert an empty table. Let's go to the document so that you'll be able to see the table in the document window. If necessary, display the insert tab. The insert tab is 1. And then with the insertion position as shown in figure 3-39, so we're down here on our insertion point down here. We're going to go to table. We scroll up and see what size we're down. Okay, we're going to do a 3x1 as well. So we're going to click on table, and we're going to do 3x1. So 3 columns, 1 row. Click OK. Or click on it, not OK, but just click on it. And it's going to put in a 3 columns. It should look like this. All right, next page. To enter data in a table. With the insertion point in the left cell of the table, click Date. Type it. Then we're going to push Tab to go into the next cell. We're going to type in Event. Tab, and we're going to type in Notes. Bottom of the page, this is my page. Enter more data in the table. Okay. Type July 12th through the 16th and July 19th through the 23rd. So it's going to look like this, but where is our insertion? We're in Notes, or in Tab. It's going to insert another line for us automatically, and we're going to type in July 12th through the 16th. And July 19th through 23rd. Hit Tab again under the event. It's called Orientation and Registration. Now, orientation is spelled wrong. It's a capital O, not a capital E. And then I'm going to hit Tab. And it says See Brief Schedule on the next page. Tab. Add another row. And then on the third row, we're going to type in August 16th. 17th. First column, and then the second column, we're going to type in move-in days. And the third column, assisted, assigned. It's assigned. capitalize as it tells you to. If you don't, then it will count that against you. All right, in the fourth row, August 23rd, you need to get used to typing in correctly anyway, because this is going out representing your college. So you want to make sure that it is all nice looking, no errors. And notes is first day of class. So it should look like this. Don't worry about these little symbols here. That just means that it's a cell, and that's not going to show on the printout. Okay, now we're going to apply a table style so we can make it look nice. The first column, checkbox. If the first column checkbox and the table styles options group, table styles. Okay, I see what it's saying now. If the first column checkbox in the table styles option group, table tools design tab contains a check mark, click the box to remove it. Okay, see where it says first column here? We want to uncheck it. Because it's like if there was labels in the first column. We don't have labels in the first column. We actually have data. These are our dates in our first column. So we uncheck that. Okay. Now with the insertion table in the point in the table, and ours is because it should be here on the end of first day of classes, we're going to click the more on the table styles gallery. It gives us all these different pre-formatted ones. Now we're going to go to grid table light accent 2. So these are grid tables, these are list tables. So we're going to grid table, and then we're going to find light accent 2. So these are called light grid table 1, light accent 2. Okay, so this is grid table 2 probably. Grid table 3. So the first row is grid table 1s. Grid table 1, light accent 2 is what it wants. So click on it, and it creates a grid table for us. So we have a header row, so our heading is different formatting than the rest of it, but we didn't have a column. We unchecked that, so everything below it is going to look just like that. So clicked on it, and it should look like this, and it does. So moving on. Okay, to select a column. The next task is to italicize the data in cells in the third column. Okay, so position the pointer in the boundary area above the column. Click on my table and click to make this window active, and then I should be able to hold my pointer exactly above the column, and I should see a down arrow. When I see that down arrow, I should click on it, and it selects that whole column. And then we can press Control I to italicize that information, or I can use my quick button and click on here, and it's going to italicize. Either way, we'll still italicize. Okay, selecting table contents. So I can select a cell, I can select a column, or I can select a row. So read through that, make sure you know how to do that. To insert a row in a table, the next step is to insert a row. So we're going to position the pointer to the left of the table between the rows where you want to insert it, and we'll see a little plus sign pop up. Click the insert control to insert a row at the location of the pointer, and then you select it. So it looks like between the 16th, 17th, and the 23rd, we forgot to put something. So we're going to insert that row. So I'm going to click to make this active document, and then I'm going to click off of the selection, and then I'm going to hold it between the 16th and the 17th. You see the little plus sign. Click the plus sign, and there we go. We've added a row. Now we forgot to put in August the 16th through the 20th, so I'm going to type it in right here. Welcome week. You noticed all the formatting stayed the same. We have our orange lines on that new row, and we also have the italicized in the right column. wanted to insert a column in a table, then I could do these following steps. There's two different ways of doing it. We can right click and select the column that we want, and right click, and we should be able to insert a column. The left, right, or I can also click it, and I have insert here, and I can insert a column to the left or right. And it's also up here in our table design, if I had it there. But we're not inserting a column. It just wants you to know how to do it. Okay. If you want to delete a row or column, then the same thing. You can click on whatever it is, right click, and delete column, or you can use this delete button. Okay, adding more text. Scroll up if necessary to see the space below the table and the letter. Okay, so I'm going to click below my table and the letter. And we're going to hit enter to make some space between our table and our next text. We want to type in before orientation. To bullet a list as you type, so we're going to click the asterisk key. So we'll quick thing. That's a spacebar, and it automatically should convert it to a bullet list. And then type in complete. Enter, and the bullet will pop up. Schedule your math placement exam. Reserve. It is automatically capitalizing the first letter of the bulleted list. Press enter. And press enter again. And it's still going to stay on the same line, but it turned the bulletin off. So it'll look like here. Page. Enter more text and then save the letter. So I'm going to do this with the magic again. I'm going to type in all this information, and it should look like this. But before we do that, I'm going to do it live. Okay, so with the insertion point, press enter. Twice. Just need to see that. Step 2. Go down to where I hit enter twice. Now I'm going to hit the tab button to go to that 3.5-inch mark. Sincerely, comma. Press enter 4 times. 1, 2, 3, 4. So I should have 3 blank lines in between sincerely and the name block. Lucy on. So, that is the person that's writing this letter. We're just typing it for Lucy. Okay. Hit enter again. And director. Okay, the space between sincerely and Lucy is where the signature would go, where you would actually handwrite the signature. Lucy would sign this. So that's why it's called a signature block. Okay, so it should look like this. Now we're going to save this. Save this. It's done. Okay, this is another place to take a break, I believe. Now we're going to start on page 2 for our next recording.